So the window on the other side of the shop is open. I've got a hog barn fan behind here which moves 650 cubic feet per minute, so it's pretty good for keeping fresh air going through. This is the lacquer here. This is the Simtech. It's the same stuff that Taylor uses, and it's 37x6 UV cure top coat. This is the stuff that we use after the gel coat nails. Gel coat pore filler. And the nice thing with it is it sprays on really nicely. It's a lot thicker than nitro and water based, and it doesn't really drip. If you load it on really thick, it will drip, but you don't want to load it on. It's going to end up having a bit of an orange peel texture to some extent for the first few coats, and that's okay because we'll level sand and wet sand and buff it out later. But you want to make sure that you have it so it's thick enough that later on when you level sand, you still leave some left. It ends up being about 1/1000th of an inch per coat on average, so like 6 mil is your final thickness after you take a couple thousandths of an inch off. And it's supposed to not check. It's supposed to flex and move with the wood, and I personally think acoustically it's better than nitro. It's better than anything. It's like it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So the bad side of the stuff is it's really bad for your lungs, so you don't want to breathe it. So wear this with the chemical cartridges, and we'll blow the dust off this first. So this gun here, I just put aluminum tape over top of it so the UV rays can't get inside the gun. So it's kind of neat because ever since I started using this, because it only dries with UV cure, it doesn't clog up the gun either. So I haven't cleaned this gun in ages, and it just doesn't clog up. It's all around like the easiest to use, but it's bad for you. So make sure you have the mask on. What I'm going to do is start off by spraying the back, and I'll go side to side. I've got the gun set up in such a way that it's a fan pattern, and I always spray beyond the guitar a little bit. You don't want to spray for a long time beyond the guitar because then you're just dumping this lacquer onto that filter, and it's just a waste of material. So we'll spray above, and it's like cutting the grass like a lawnmower. You want to overlap a little bit. That way you can be sure that it's always covering everything entirely. I've got that other light over there just to shine, so you get a bit of a glare. You can sort of stand in such a way that you can line up that light, and it makes it easier to see where you've already sprayed. After we do the back, then I'll do from the top middle all the way around to the bottom. The two ends are the ends that both get the least lacquer. The lowest amount ends up getting sprayed on because it gets neglected when we're spraying, so just intentionally try to spray a little extra there. And the other thing is they're also the ends that don't get as much light, so later on if you notice that it didn't cure properly in the box, we'll just pull out the light and I'll cure it for you. But we'll do 3 coats, 20 minutes apart. Go back first, then the sides, then the soundboard. After the 3 coats have dried or have sat for 20 minutes and they're on, then we'll put in the light box and it'll cure, and then we'll repeat the process. So I'm going to put this on, and it smells terrible. It's dreadful. So turn the fan on, turn the compressor on.
Those claws really come out.
It looks a fair bit nicer than it did before, eh? So with this stuff, what we'll do is I'll move the guitar over here into the other room, and then you guys can take your turn. Actually, you know what? I've got just because I trust you guys. I don't trust everybody, but nah, just kidding. I trust everybody all the time. No, let's use this rack. It's a little tricky, and we'll have to make sure that we don't bonk our guitars against anybody's. But if we put it in like this, oh, I just touched the side. This, and then rotate it while you're going down, then spin. We could have them sitting parallel, and they should be fine. But what do you think? Are you guys comfortable with hanging them here? And do you think you'll be able to move around without touching them? Because then we won't have them in the other room. We can keep